Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It, the show where I share my review and my opinion on different video games that I have experienced. Today's video is about an elite indie game, and this is none other than Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight was developed by Team Cherry, a small Australian company, and was published by themselves. The game was released for PC in early 2017, and it received its console release at the end of 2018. The game continued getting expansions for the next 2 years. Unfortunately, the game was not received as well as it should have had due to the fact that other indie games such as Little Nightmares and Cuphead had a bigger impact on their release. This did not prevent Hollow Knight from establishing their own unique fan base and earned themselves a few reward nominations and some awards. Nowadays, Hollow Knight is a respectful game among the indies, and Team Cherry have already announced that the sequel, Silksong, is in development. On to the review. Hollow Knight is an action-adventure Metroidvania game. What is Metroidvania game, you may ask? Metroidvania games are games with large interconnected maps that the player can explore. However, there will be certain locations where the player will not be able to proceed until they receive a certain item or skills that can unlock later on. To give you a better example, you may not be able to reach a location unless you obtain double jump, which can be found somewhere else. Once you obtain double jump, you can return to the location where you couldn't jump before and proceed. So basically, it's a game where you have to come back and forth in the map to unlock new locations. The story of the game is weird to fully explain. I would recommend checking a channel called Moosebag, as he is a huge fan of the game and covers its lore. The game does not contain any dialogue spoken in English, and all of the lore can be found in cryptic dialogues with NPCs, tablets found in the world, the website, the art book, and the archives found within journals. To give you a very brief and unjustified explanation, we are introduced to the back kingdom known as Hallownest, where a godly being called the Radiance began to control and brainwash the bags. Another godly being called the Pale King rescued Hallownest by sailing the Radiance in the dream world. He had the idea of trapping it within a hollow vessel called the Hollow Knight, who was sealed away and locked in the Black Egg, sealed by 3 dreamers who volunteered to be sacrificed as they admired the Pale King's work. 2 of them volunteered without anything in return, while the third one, King Hera, requested for the king and her to have a child, to which he agreed. Everything was peaceful for a while, up until the Radiant's influence began to appear in the world of Hallownest. This is pretty much the backstory of the game, pretty much the stuff found in the tablets and dialogues. The game then begins by introducing our playable hero, the Knight, who arrives in Hallownest. It's up to the player now to venture inside Hallownest to break the 3 seals and pay a visit to the Hollow Knight. Needless to say, the game contains 3 endings based on the player choices. Moreover, Team Cherry released 4 free DLC expansions for the game. Some just introduced new areas and new foes, while others introduced post-game content alongside 2 different endings. Most known ones are the Grimm Troupe and the Godmasters, both of which I'll talk later. The gameplay of Hollow Knight is really nice and smooth. You move around with either the keypad or L3. X is used to jump, and hitting it again while in air will create a second jump, given that the player unlocked the ability. Also, the longer you hold X, the higher the jump goes, and if you just tap X, it will just barely jump. Square is used for melee attacks on the enemies with the nail weapon. Triangle is used to dream nail enemies. Dream nail is something you obtain later on in the game and allows you to enter the dream world and read the NPC's thoughts. R2 is the ability to dodge. L2 is known as Super Dash or Crystallized Dash, an ability unlocked later on in the game. Crystal Dash charges and then shoots the knight in a straight line until the player presses X or hit the wall. R1 is the quick button to open the map. The touch button, on the other hand, is the button that opens the entire inventory, where the player can see the entire world map, the inventory, and all the data collected in the journals. Last but not least is Circle, which is used for focus abilities, aka magic. All magic abilities must be first found in the map but one. Holding Circle allows the knight to recover his health. Tap Circle is the ability to shoot a projectile spell. Circle and up will unleash a powerful spell that hits upwards, and circle down will create a powerful spell that dives down and unleashes a radius blast, hitting the enemies both on the sides, below, and above. Other abilities the knight gets is the wall hanging. At certain points the knight is able to jump off the walls to reach higher ground. Furthermore, the player can swim inside toxic waters in order to discover further lands. If the player manages to find 3 Nail Masters, they'll teach the Knight more combos depending on which they come across. By holding square, the Knight can unleash a more powerful slash. The other master will teach the Knight how to unleash that powerful blast while dashing, and the last master will teach the Knight how to make a turning attack similar to Legend of Zelda's Link. This can be done by holding square and up. Last but not least, all the spells mentioned above can be powered up once you found their dark versions. Some things I didn't mention. You die if your Knight runs out of health and respawns to the next bench that uses as a checkpoint. When a player dies, their soul remains to the place where they die, and they have to go and kill it in order to fill up their mask and get their lost coins. Another thing to mention is that the Knight can use his nail on top of spikes so that he won't drop into them. The game has plenty of collectibles for the player to venture around and collect. First things first, in order to power up the Knight, you'll need to find plenty of items. The first type of collectible are mask shards. There is a total of 16 shards. Each time a player collects a total of 4, they gain 1 extra life point. The second foremost collectible that powers the Knight are the vessel fragments. There is a total of 9, and each set of 3 rewards the player with an extra set of container that stores soul for the player to cast more spells. The third and fourth are the 3 nail arts and the spells with their respective shade forms. Moreover, we have the charms, and there's a total of 42 of them. Each of them have their own abilities, and it's up to the player to find the combination that they prefer using. Some of the charms power up the nails, some others do the spells. Some grant summoned allies, while others help restore soul faster or health points. Some grant extra blue health or help the Knight maneuver abilities. There's plenty of them, and I can't sit and explain each one, as I believe this is up to the player to experiment with them. An extra form of collectibles are the grabs. The Grab Father lost a total of 46 grabs and requests the Knight to help him find them. Each time you free a grab, the Grab Father will reward the Knight with plenty of money, mask fragments, and charms. Last but not least, there's plenty of collectible items such as maps, materials that you can exchange for money, items to see in the dark, and plenty of others. There's a location known as the Colosseum where the player can challenge themselves in a set of 3 Colosseum fights. These are waves with different mobs attacking the player while also having to balance life, mana management, and platforming skills. Hollow Knight's free expansion also introduced plenty of post-game content. For example, the first one with the Grimm Troupe. Grimm gives the player a pet and tells him to go kill a set of 3 enemies in order for the ritual to take place. Each set of 3 the Knight kills, while equipped with the pet that Grimm gave us, allows the pet to grow. Each time a set is complete, talk to Grimm. On the second set, you unlock his boss fight, and on the third set, you unlock his ultimate Grimm fight, known as the Nightmare King. It's very interesting DLC, and Grimm's design is by far the best. The Godmaster DLC is also known as boss rush content. The first 3 pantheons the Knight fights is an arena of 10 rounds. Each pantheon had boss battles that were in the actual game. The Pantheon of Hallownest is the last of the pantheons and requires the player to fight all 48 bosses, including the final 2 in their more powerful forms. Last but not least, Godhome also has a museum where the player can challenge each boss individually and also challenge themselves in tasks like one-shot kill, no health, no mana, less damage, and so on. The Godhome also introduces 2 different alternative endings. Well, this is it about Hollow Knight. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a full-on justice to the game, and I really hope you guys give it a try. I've personally seen the 3 original endings and successfully beaten 2 pantheons so far. I found most of the items and I'm currently on 110% completion. I definitely fell in love with the game and enjoy its universe. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comments below what are your thoughts on the Hollow Knight and if you played it or if you will. Till then, take care and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya!